Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm jumping into another longer form video. As I mentioned before, I've been producing a lot of short form content, shorts, TikTok, Reels, getting those uploaded. I hope you've all been tuning in, but I'm also going to mix things up with some longer form content just to touch on some topics in a bit more detail, maybe jump into a question that I received from one of the viewers, or jumping into a topic that, I think other founders, agency owners, entrepreneurs might find of use. Now, today is a topic that a lot of people don't talk about because it's a very hard skill to obtain, but in my opinion, it's one of the most valuable skills as a business owner, and something that I know has definitely helped both myself and Anton kind of ride out the highs and lows of running an agency and building a business. So the topic I'm going to focus on today centers around resilience. There's many different ways that you can tackle this topic. So I'd be keen to know anyone's kind of thoughts, feedback on what I say. Feel free to jump into the comments, ask some questions, let me know your thoughts. To go right from the start, pre-founding a business, many people look at, business plans, opportunities, sector, skill sets that you need, the product market fit, which is all super important. But what a lot of people don't consider is the resilience that's needed in that certain sector based on their personality type, right? We all know that, I have certain skills, you have certain skills, I have certain things which I'm not good at, other people might be very good at that, and resilience is one of them. So I think being very self-aware of how resilient you are should actually come into play as early as possible when looking at starting a business or what sectors you should move into. Now, resilience is important across all sectors, in my opinion. However, there are some sectors by nature that require an elevated amount of resilience just because of business cycles, the way things work. For example, project-based businesses require a lot of resilience. Agencies require a lot of resilience, not because they're project-based, but more so because of the ebbs and flows of businesses and how challenging it can be. And that's kind of where I'm coming from. As you know, Nova Plus, we're a growth marketing agency, and we're a business that, we experienced great highs over the last 3 years, but we've also experienced really tough times. So I knew, and Anton knew, that before getting into this sector, resilience was important to us and a skill that we both possessed, which kind of made the sector more appealing, because I think a lot of people in general wouldn't be willing to stick out the really tough times that you have to endure sometimes in agencies, work being slow, managing client problems, dealing with cyber challenges, you name it. We've probably experienced it over the last 3 years. And one thing that's helped us to continue and not only just survive, but also grow through tough times is our resilience. Now, if I didn't consider myself having elevated level of resilience, I probably would have stayed away from the agency business. So that's a health warning for anyone listening and thinking about the agency business model. But for those that are ready to be resilient, ready to take on a challenge, agencies offer a massive amount of value, and it's a great way to start generating income, even if you're a freelancer starting off. Now, for me, the first part of resilience in business is being aware and understanding that tough times will happen. As much as we think we sit before we start, before we launch, that business is always going to go smoothly. We're going to, grow sustainably every year, and year on year we'll have growth, and month on month we'll have growth. I mean, it does happen, and it's unbelievable if it happens. So congratulations to anyone out there with a business that's doing exactly that. But the reality is life is not always up. There will be tough times. And it's inevitable that there's going to be tough times. So instead of kind of taking these tough times when they come and letting them get you down, let them throw you off your track, let them change your vision, it's important to kind of grow and build awareness of the fact tough times are coming before they actually arrive. Now, that might be hard to do, right? Because when you're in the good times, you only think of the good times. And when you're in the bad times, you think, it's too late, I wasn't prepared for this. But my advice would be kind of build up resilience before bad times come. So practice that in your mindset. Always know that things might get worse. I'm not saying be negative, be pessimistic, but be aware that the reality is, and I'm speaking specifically agency now, be aware that you might lose clients. You might have a fall of income. Clients might leave. Team members might leave. Competitors might come and take your business. Be prepared for those things, because if they do come, preparing in advance means you'll be resilient to that change. And if they don't come, it means you've gained resilience to use in another area later on, and it's great news. So I think that's something that all founders, business owners can do. And even if you work in an agency, I think it's important to know that, your clients can leave or you can have a bad time, and prepare ahead for that. Not physically. I mean, there's nothing you can do. This is all mental preparation, and it comes from talking and sharing and scenario planning on what can happen, what you don't think can happen. And ultimately, that resilience will gradually build up, so that when you do experience challenging times and you kind of get more comfortable being uncomfortable throughout your life cycle of the business, not just in certain periods, you'll be able to respond better to those times. And resilient people typically have the ability to make decisions without emotion, when others would typically act on emotion. So building resilience enables you to keep a level head, to make rational decisions in the time that matters most, right? Because ultimately the decisions you make when times are tough are the decisions that will either make you or break you. So you need to make sure that you get those ones right. And to get those right, you need a rational, clear head. And it's something that surprising, but many businesses have crumbled, because the times have got tough and there's been impulse decisions made and people haven't really thought things through, because it is stressful in those times. There are a lot of dynamics coming at you. There's a lot of, usually unforeseen scenarios that can make things extremely difficult. But preparing ahead for those, training yourself ultimately to be resilient, to build this resilient mindset, will mean that when you get into those positions, you're ready, you're skilled mentally to take on those challenges. And I'm not saying they'll be easy, because they won't. They'll be extremely difficult. But to be able to tackle them with a rational mindset over an emotional mindset will help you make it through. And not only just make it through in the best possible way. And one thing that makes agencies and all businesses grow from strength to strength is ultimately how people handle the tough times. So one of the tips from me is build resilience, prepare for tough times, and act rationally. Because if you nail that, you're going to nail your business. And the tough times are what makes the good times even better, if you get them right. Keen to hear your thoughts. Let me know what your position is on it. Some people might think actually they don't agree. Some people think actually better to just focus on strengths and forget about weaknesses. That's also a valid mentality. And if that is something you feel, it'd be great to hear your perspectives. Otherwise, tune in for some more in the coming weeks. So stay tuned.